Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and welcome to another developer Q&A video for Eve Echoes. Now first off, my apologies that this is coming out on a Sunday. Normally I would have a developer Q&A video ready to go on Friday. Unfortunately I was not given the dev Q&A images until today, and literally otherwise it was just going to be a text file, which is not really exciting for background footage at all now, is it? For those of you who don't know, each week the developers of Eve Echoes take 4 questions posed to them by the community. They respond to those questions and post that response to the official Eve Echoes Twitter account, Facebook page, and they are buried away in the depths of your ship's AI in-game as well. If you have a question you wish to be answered by the developers, there is a link in the description of this very video that will take you to a Google document. There you can fill in your question, send it off to the developers, and if it is one that is chosen to be responded to, you will win a month of basic Omega. Now, if you are following my channel as well, make sure, of course, you're on my Discord and you're commenting on videos down below. That will enter you for a chance to be one of 3 people a week who win a month of combo Omega. Good luck to all entries. If you want more information, I'll put a link in the description down below to the video that explains how that works. That's all said and done though. Let's jump straight into this week's developer Q&A, which is for the week of the 16th to the 22nd of March. First of all, is there any chance to get some of the older ship skins or even some green nanocores added to the Scholar Point exchange? There's been nothing done to this for a very long time. Now, that's not strictly true. There has been some stuff which Lance is going to sort of mention here, so let's give him the space. We have plans to gradually increase the exchangeable content in the Scholar Point store. We've added Bull and Tiger skins to the store before, which they did. The Typhoon 2 I got from that store is absolutely awesome. And in the upcoming versions, we're planning to add some Jung modules and prototype ships to the store. Still no sign of the actual Jung ships, the Xianyue and Xianyue, I'm probably completely butchered that, the Kanyu and the Shanyu for those who sort of speak it in sort of a mock English. Essentially that is the prototype destroyer and the prototype battle cruiser. There are official versions of those, full versions that are non-prototype. Those are really good ships. I've flown them on Fulmination. No sign of when those are going to be added, but it looks like the prototypes, which are otherwise only available during your first monthly login, are coming to the Scholar Point exchange. Now, admittedly, they did say this was going to happen in July. Admittedly, they said that like January of last year, so we kind of assumed it was July 2021, but it looks like it may have actually been July 2022. I'm normally pretty good at taking netties on their word. If they say they want to do something, they do kind of end up doing it. Unfortunately, when they say like, you know, oh, it's coming soon here when it comes to Jung stuff, I'm just like, I don't know. When it comes to the Scholar Points and Jung, they're the 2 systems of the game that I feel are neglected the most. Like, you can sit there and say, oh, Destroyers, no one cares about Destroyers. No one cares about Scholar Points. Like, that is the lowest of the low. Even Destroyers are more popular than the Scholar Point system. And that's because, basically, once you've got the 4 shuttles, and even then the shuttles aren't exactly useful for most people, plus any skins that you want, what's really the point in all those ancient remains? Ultimately, I'm glad to hear that the Jung modules are coming back, because that would give me a reason to actually train medium decomposers, because medium decomposers work really well on the Celestis line of hulls. But the only reason I don't want to do that is because it's so hard to source new ones. If I can get new modules, awesome. Now, I do get the feeling this is just going to be the meta level 5 modules, plus the prototype Xianyue Destroyer and the prototype Kanyu Battle Cruiser. I do wish it's a bit more than that. I hope it's more than the meta 5 modules. I'd love to see, heck, even Mark versions of the modules, along with things like the C-types. I think that would be a really good reason to actually do these. And at this point in time, look, come on, guys. I know, like, we harp on about this. The Jung was supposed to be the next big thing coming to Eve Echoes. In the run-up to launch, netties were massive in pointing out that, remember these Jung guys who are part of the backstory of EVE Online? We're bringing their ships to the game and it's going to be awesome. Well, that was all the way back in June of 2020. It is now March 2022 and we still have no clue when the actual Jung ships are coming. Seriously, guys, at this point in time, just launch them in the Scholar Point store. I think that's just your best bet at this point. Just put them in the Scholar Point store and be done with it. Anyway, let's move on. Do you plan to add an animation to mining out an asteroid? Currently, the asteroids simply vanish when depleted, completely not immersive. Even crates blow up into a fireball when looted. An animation of the asteroid breaking up and dispersing into dust would be nice, and yeah, I actually agree, that would be really cool. We've got comets in the game now, they're quite right, the different ships have different types of explosions. If you watch a battleship explode, it's different to a frigate explode. You do even get that little thing a little explosion when a crate is looted. So yeah, I get this, I get wanting to have this. Ultimately, there are hollowed out asteroids in the game already. In certain combat encounters, you'll notice they look all like wiggly skeletal rock things. That's a hollowed out asteroid. But yeah, I would love to see an actual situation where when you finished mining an asteroid, like I don't want a situation, I think it's a bit excessive to have the asteroid sort of shrink and that as it goes, but once the asteroid is finished, to have it actually kind of explode into space dust, that would be awesome. What does Melos say? We've started to do some gradual art optimization recently, again, like the comets. Firstly, we will adjust the display errors or poor visual effects for modules, and after those are completed, we'll consider optimizing other parts. So yeah, I kind of get where they're coming from here. Let's look at the stuff we've got already and sort of optimize that and make it look pretty. Yeah, cool, I'm down with that. Then adding other parts later. I mean, we did add the comets, and I know the comets are part of the returnee event, because the whole thing is that when a comet flies over the mountains, it's supposed to be someone's soul returning to the world. In sort of several sort of ancient cultures have that kind of belief, and it's mentioned in the returnee event text. But still, we got comet stuff. Come on, let's give the miners some love, I think, as well, would be really nice. I know it's not the mining love that needs to happen. Let's not go into a rant on that in this video, as well as every other dev Q&A imaginable. Go check out my how to fix industry video if you're wondering what I'm talking about there. Ultimately, yeah, I think visual effects are actually... I used to be like, oh, yeah, it's just a visual effect, let's fix stuff. Different teams, for starters, like, you know, the balance team and the design team are two completely separate things. So adding visual effects does make the game a lot more immersive. Just the comets. The comets have really blown me away. I know some people are really like, it's not very exciting. I love it. I love the fact that sometimes when I undock and sometimes when I jump gate, there's like a comet whizzing past. The space nut in me just absolutely loves that. As I said before, I'm autistic, I'm obsessed with space, both outer and personal. It's, yeah, it's my favourite t-shirt has that written on the front. Anyway, moving on to question 3 then. In the balance update, will there be a distribution of the rigs obtained in each region? Oh god, yes. We have an imbalance, where some Inquisitors give 5 million and others give 1 billion. The rigs that most create such an unbalance, in my opinion, are all structure rigs, navigation rigs, mining rigs, and engineering rigs. Yeah, kind of. I'll come back to that. The structure rigs are not worth it. There are no ships with bonuses nor skills and modules, and the navigation, mining, and engineering rigs are the most valuable, but are relegated to certain regions. The solution would be to eliminate the structure rigs and for others to appear in all regions. Now, Cloud responds, we're already planning on adjusting the output from different regions. In the upcoming balance update, we will replan the rig output to make it more in line with the features, not feathers. We did pick this apart when they gave us the dev Q&A earlier this week, but they haven't corrected it, with the feathers features of different pirate factions. We'll also balance the output value of Inquisitor anomalies in different regions. Now, this is such a big thing. Look, I'm based in Angel space, and if you know anything about the Angel cartel at all, it's that their ships are all about speed. So the fact that our anomalies drop drone rigs, which Angel Cartel don't use, but instead don't have navigation rigs. We have drone rigs, but not navigation rigs? Why? Why is that a thing? Look at what your loot should be. Loot should be representative of the area you're in. If you're in Gurstus space, you should be dropping missile rigs, you should be dropping shield rigs, you should be dropping drone rigs. If you're in Serpentis space, it should be railguns, drones, and armor. And yeah, that's probably it for there. Sansha should be shield, laser, and afterburner, navigation rigs. Angel should be cannon, shield, and navigation rigs. I would even suggest that Angel should actually have armor rigs in it as well. And you're going, hang on a second, but then if Angel gets shield and armor, isn't that unfair? Aren't they getting more? Well, no, because if you were to actually open up Zgod's sort of loot distribution right now and have a look at how this is looted, you would wonder why anyone lives outside of Serpentis space. Serpentis space has, like, pretty much everything. It's absolutely insane how much loot is available in Serpentis space. Now that does mean that sometimes, yeah, you get all the trash loot dropping an Inquisitor or a Scout, but for the most part, you tend to get at least some of the good stuff. Whereas if you're in Angel space, the best stuff you're really going to get ultimately is either the cannon rigs or the shield rigs. Heck, we don't even get missile rigs, I don't think. I don't know, maybe we do actually. But the point is, this has been a contentious point for anyone based out in Angel space for a long time. It's become a bit of a meme now, and I feel unfair every time I mention it, but Lance Dot once historically said that the reason that Angel space had worse loot than everyone else was because it was twice the size. Like, the fact that Angel space has twice as many systems as other space means that every individual player can somehow double their loot. Like, it made no sense. And looking at the amount of space that a particular faction has, yeah, that doesn't mean... I don't know. If you look at the market right now, yes, let's be completely honest, navigation rigs are ludicrously expensive. Like, how much is an auxiliary thruster 3 right now? Compare an auxiliary thruster 3 to something like, for example, a shield extender 3. It's not called a shield extender, but you know the one I mean, the core defense field extender 3, which is a popular rig. Or things like I repeatedly use. I love the, the core defense economizer? The one that is additional shield boosting. 30% additional shield boost for a Tech 3 rig, and they're like 20,000 ISK sometimes on the market. It's ridiculous. I think I've paid maybe 2 million at most for these kind of things. It's ridiculously cheap, and I love them. Yet, yeah, if you were to look at something like an auxiliary thruster, they are ludicrously expensive because they're in ridiculous places. Navigation rigs should be Sancha because of the afterburner bonuses, and Angel because of just, well, Angel, they are fast. That's the entire point. Jump into an Angel encounter and watch how fast their Macariels can move. Like, seriously, if you don't have a guy who is specific tackle to tackle a Macariel in PvE, yeah, that's how insane Angel space is when it comes to speed. Yet we don't get navigation rigs. Go figure. And just our area of space is ridiculously crap when it comes to loot. You can solo a whole bunch of Inquisitors, Scouts, and it'll probably take more effort to do so than it would do, for example, in Gurstus or Serpentis space. But then when you finish that encounter, your loot's barely worth it. So I'm glad that they are doing this. This looks like, the way they say it here, we're planning on adjusting the output from different regions in the upcoming balance update. Huzzah. I'm just glad to be hearing stuff that's actually in this update. It's exciting stuff. Good. More of that, please. Let's have more of that. Final question then. For ships docked in station, can you add a button to unload all holds that takes everything in the ship and puts in your hangar? Currently, this feature is not in our development plan. Again, they say Feather. We did point out to them on Friday that it said Feather in the text version. Yeah, anyway. Nettie's Paulin. So again, another dev answering a question here. Now, I'm... Unload all holds. Is there ever a reason to just... Like, that saves you 2 taps. 3 taps at most. Like, most people just go into the item hold, select all, move 2. 2 taps. That's it. If you've got a ship like a Tyra or a Badger or something, I suppose, that's got 2 holds, then it's tap into hold 1, select all, move 2, tap into hold 2, select all, tap on. So it's 3 extra taps. 3 extra taps this would save. I don't know. It's a quality of life change. I'm not against quality of life changes, if I'm completely honest. It just seems like a... Really? Is this that necessary? Like, if it's not difficult to plan, then come on, guys, Paulin, get this on the plan, and yeah, it's quality of life change. I'm not going to say it's not. Ultimately, it's nice that in EVE Online, you can just go Control-A and then just move it. But even then, actually, think about it. EVE Online doesn't have a just unload all. If you are desperate to get everything off and out of a ship, you can repackage it, and that will just take everything out of it as well, obviously, except the rigs, but I assume that's not what we're talking about here. Yeah, I can see this being sort of useful. It's a nice quality of life change, but I do think even as far as quality of life goes, this one's fairly niche. Like, it's saving you 3 taps. 3 taps every time you unload a ship. How often are you unloading a ship? Like, once every... Heck, if you were doing Jita runs constantly, probably once every half an hour? Maybe? Once every half an hour, you save 3 taps. I just... it doesn't feel it to me. I don't know. I am, again, I'm just going to say, no offense here to Paulin, I would love to see a bit more depth in some of these answers. I like that Cloud kind of actually gives a thing here as well, where he adds that we will also do this. You know, oh, we're considering doing what you've asked, but we're also going to do this. Melos says the same. We haven't considered doing what you've said, but actually that's not a bad idea. We'll look into it. I think an answer does need to be a bit more than currently it's not on the plan. It's like someone says, hey, have you guys thought of this? And the guy just looks at the piece of paper and goes, it's not here. Come on. I love the devs, love them to pieces. If we're going to spend time in a dev Q&A answering a question, let's give a proper answer. Let's get something exciting in there. So in this case, unload all halts. Currently, this feature's not in our development plan. We'll talk about it and discuss whether or not it's worth the time. That's all it needs, just to show that little bit of extra engagement. Anyway, folks, that is this week's Developer Q&A. I'm super excited to hear that Jung modules are still coming to the store at some point in the near time. Well, no, I'm not going to say near time. Some point in the future. Some point. Maybe. Perhaps. Could be. What a reason to fly these ships. I love the ships. I actually really like the modules. Decomposers are so much fun. But I need to have like C-type decomposers, really. If I'm going to be competitive with other people, I need to have C-type decomposers if I'm going to use them. Asteroids, yeah, I think visual effects on asteroids would be really cool. All for that. I would love to have this rebalance of the rigs. That just makes so much sense. And yeah, I think an unload all, it's probably pretty niche and it's not going to get much use. But hey, quality of life is quality of life, and if the devs can spend a few moments just adding a couple of lines of code to just unload everything into Hangar, yeah, if it saves some poor sod 3 taps, well, I suppose, you know, if he's got, you know, really bad arthritis or osteoporosis or something, you know, snap your finger bones. I don't know, I'm being facetious here now just for the giggles. I don't want to offend anyone. I think that, yeah, it's not a bad suggestion. I think it's niche, but it's not a bad suggestion. I'm all for quality of life changes. So if the devs can make it happen, let's make it happen. Anyway, folks, let me know your thoughts and opinions on these 4 questions in the comment section down below. Enjoy the fact that you all got a bonus Sunday video this week. How awesome's that, right? Please, netties, don't do this again. Give me the dev Q&A ahead of time like you usually do. I like having these on Friday. It gives me an actual sort of, you know, routine to follow in my otherwise non-routine life, which drives me berserk sometimes. Anyway, folks, ask your questions to the developers using the link in the description down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on these ones. You might win a month of Combo Omega for commenting on a video. Otherwise, happy sailing and see you in New Eden.